It's starting.
So with RMC, it's easy to really catch up on because there's just shortcuts everywhere, but it's also really easy to just run on, and we'll possibly be seeing Korea just take advantage of that. While four people bag in the back to try to get shock. Um, we see a majority of Brazil back here. They did pick it. They do want the shock. They do want to initiate the bagging strat that they're gonna have in this war, and I think they're gonna need in this war, considering Korea has a win behind their hands.
Yes, most definitely. Getting the 8th place box here right here for Pedro. If you've ever played this game, 8th place boxes are literally a
Awful.
blessing or a
Like
curse.
you with a fleet boxes, you're more likely to get plans, boomerangs,
Triple
fireballs. Like
greens.
it's like that sort of like weird spot, like bloopers, stuff like that, where the game doesn't know what item to give you, so they just give you the bottom of the
I
barrel.
do see a shock coming in play here. Pedro coming in with a dodge. I would assume a Brazil shock starting
A
super
hundred
early.
percent.
Honestly, a
Very
pretty early shock.
but honestly, better early than never, because if you wait too long, you can't capitalize as easily, and it's always gives a chance for another shock for the other team. And Pedro, he's up here with triple reds in his team 2-3-4.
I believe it's a Brazil top 4 actually.
Brazil top four with Korea behind. There's not much you can do. Lap three, like there's no shock in play. Shocks
Yeah,
can only
shock's
be
already
played
out.
30
No blue.
seconds. Oh, triple shrooms. He's out of
And
here.
protection to block the red. I think
Oh,
that
he is
actually just
out
might
of
be a top
here.
4 for Brazil.
Top. Wow, they worked out perfectly for Brazil. Exactly how how they wanted it to. Top four, 8, 11. The 11th place instead of the 12th place is actually a huge deal that people don't know about. You're bagging there. You don't want to get last. You want to get 11th. Get that +1 on them real quick. So I'm
What
wondering,
better way to start the war?
really, like, how do you go on from this? Like, what do you stop top four on? I mean, I'm wondering to see what Brazil's running tracks are.
I'm kind of curious to see how that would have went if it actually went and picked Cheeseline race 1. I feel like that race would have been completely different, assuming Cheeseline was picked.
Completely, because that's such a lucky pull. It just depends on who gets the shock and who utilizes it well. And I guess Brazil was really feeling it that war, or that race anyway. And we see Korea, opting for the dry Cheeseland pick and an Excite bike there. And this is where I would, pick Cheeseland Desert, where it's just like, okay, I got completely blown out. I need to like completely swing the momentum and fast.
So in the first two
Um,
races, I've noticed the one guy not picking any tracks whatsoever. The one RMC, and now we have just the one Excite bike, which I'm a big fan of
I
Excite
mean,
bike, and I think it's a valid strat. Versus
people
something like Dry Desert, considering that Brazil obviously got the first shot.
people like to pick their own track. I mean, if you think a track is gonna work, I think it's sometimes better to go against your team and just pick it.
You're not wrong. I'm not
Can't
gonna.
hurt as long as it serves its role. And we're gonna see a lot of bagging here on this track. This track is notorious for how baggy it is, with just sand everywhere. So that's shrooms all the time. And shock is very easy to pull on this track.
Yeah,
You don't even have
insanely
to be
easy.
bagging to get it.
I can't count the many
So,
times I've seen shock and knife, and just
oh my
it's
gosh, shock and
just
night, and then you
ridiculous.
use the shock, and then find out the team dodged with the shock in their bill. You're like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, cool. There goes in the entire race. Oh,
see
you
a
see a
lot of
Pedro.
Korea up in the front right now. I wonder.
Pedro's looking to make some plays with this bomb. I'm reckoning top three for Korea right now
I think
with
he
the
just
blue
straight up
coming.
destroys the top 3 here after blue.
Just bomb snipe, just throw it forward. Good luck. Yep.
Ooh, a little wide
Doesn't
with
get
it.
him.
Yeah, doesn't connect.
He's just looking to play like just team control right now. Just make sure he doesn't try to get like wheezed away into first. Just get like second place items and just take out people up here. That's really his job right now. Really good pull,
Yeah,
Shroom
Shroom
Horn.
Horn. And there's already been a blue shell, so.
He's just looking to just take the cut with no problems asked,
Ooh, red
but I
shell coming
don't
in.
think he's able to.
Able to get the double, which is pretty fortunate, honestly. Chilling in
Able to
first with this
pass.
banana. I don't think he's at
This
first.
fight for first, very risky. Goes for the green snipe, does not get it, but the
Ooh,
shock does come for Brazil. NVGS dodging into first.
yeah, really good shot from Brazil. I'm pretty sure the guy in first right now is in first with like a
Oh yeah,
or
he's
like
gone.
triple shots. Yeah, like
He won the race. Oh, but
ooh,
the
the
boo.
ghost.
The boo is one of the worst items to pull after shock because you know if your teammates dodge, you're gonna steal their
Ooh,
item.
second shot coming in.
A second shock. What a wow. And he is out of here. Yep. You take the golden and you dip.
I wonder
Um
why not go for a box in this position with the golden and
um I think because even if you went for boxes, you probably weren't gonna get shrooms. The pack is, you know, as it is really close and
place
you
is
have a
gone.
golden
Yeah,
and you have to take the double cut. And he's still gonna get first, I'm pretty sure. Because of how far away his golden took him. And yep, first place for Pedro. He played that perfectly, in my opinion. He was in the front for most of the lap and tried to, you know, keep his top position, and he paid off for him. They get
not
a
too
one
bad
four
of a
five.
race.
Very good race for Brazil. Korea track pick did not work out, unfortunately, but there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, second race, you have so much time to come back.
Honestly, damage wasn't even that bad for South Korea, considering that Brazil
Honestly.
had two shocks to only lose a race by 6.
Two shocks, man. Like, what can you really do? Two shocks, that's your death wish right there. And see, this is the track I probably would have picked. First race, Dolphin Shoals. Dolphin Shoals allows you to draft up really fast in like the first 10 seconds of the race, and it's just really good for just mixing up the spots. And it's easy to just take top position presence on because it's easy just to draft and then just stay in first. And I'm kind of curious to see if Korea can do that, but no, Toad Harbor. Toad Harbor is a very interesting play, in my opinion.
For the spots that Brazil are, I kind of agree with this. The 1-4 is kind of a
Mhm.
split, but I believe it's I don't know what am I trying to say. It's a very good track for the spots, I believe. I believe
Yeah,
like
because first can just take the Nisk just
yeah,
like that,
first just takes
no
Nisk,
issues.
and usually
Second
fourth gives
can't.
something to.
Yeah, fourth can probably take the Nisk, and second just gets bumped. But it looks like first is getting bumped instead, with Pedro just losing first. Um,
Wow,
with Korea taking into first, fighting for Royal and or Royal esque me in first. It does get Reddit, so Korea top two, not going too well as Brazil predicted it, but top three for Korea right
yeah,
now. This I mean Pedro just needs to get a box and just be like, yeah, spam that red, like take them out, like that's fine, but doesn't get the trail off in time.
kind of a hard track to catch up to. Honestly,
Very
not too many
hard.
shortcuts. I believe just like Nisk at the beginning and a small little
Mhm.
decently semi cut at the end with shrooms, but you don't gain
You
too much
see
time off of it. Korea
Korea
is top everything right now.
Korea is all over Pedro right now. He needs to be able to protect himself, and his team needs to get up here ASAP because he can't do it alone. Like he 100% cannot do this alone. They need to go for shock, and it looks like that Roy back there
Holy
is
cow.
trying to pull it.
Pedro's
Uh,
literally fighting for his life right now.
I would be so scared in this situation. I'd be throwing items,
He
be
only has
like,
4
"Oh
coins
my
too, which
god,
is like
4 coins." He a green to his name. Like, what can you really do? Just matrixing these greens right now.
I
Top
think we
three
see a
for
shock
Korea
here.
still, with a Shroom in third.
Blue
Oh,
shot coming
there's
in
the
play.
blue. Oh, but needed to avoid that blue in order to secure. Oh, it doesn't even matter. Man's got triple shrooms. He's coming back up.
Still a top 3 for Korea. No shock either yet.
Oh, what? Oh, excuse me? Okay, he just avoids every single plant, but does
Gets hit
not
by one
avoid that
fire.
fireball. That single fire. There's not even another fireball on the screen, just that one fireball.
I don't
Okay.
think there's a shock either.
No
Bottom spots have
shot.
not used, or they are using items, but mostly just stars. I think this is a really good race for Korea.
Really good race
Top
for
3 at least.
Korea.
Oh no.
Like
Wait, somebody from Brazil was there. At least a top 2 for Korea?
top two for Korea, I believe. Yeah, top two. Oh, but
Ooh,
looks
the
like most of their team were able to get hit out into bottom spots. Brazil taking that bag with the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is honestly really, really good for what spot Pedro was in first lap, like second lap. Like he was fighting for his life. He was fearing for his life. Good on him for avoiding every item there. Um, do you see the chain into the Wario Stadium for Korea? Very interesting because they only have top twos to their name. And with Wario Stadium, you know how chaotic the beginning section is with the reds and the shrooms and the greens. People throw it, they do not care. And that's going to be interesting to see how they're going to approach this first turn. We do see Korea hopefully trying to make the comeback here, you know, with the Wario Stadium pick. Like they need to turn the momentum around again,
Yeah,
once again.
Korea have proven that they can run. It's just
Yeah,
a matter of
100%.
shock and whatever else happens in the
Just
meantime.
like, just like yeah, presence control. Like they just need their team to stay in their spots from when they started because they have presence throughout the entire race. It's just something happens last minute. Mario Kart happens last minute, and they're hit out into bottom spots, and that's just unfortunate. You just have to make sure you can combat that, and then you'll start winning these races that you need. You see Korea keeping first right now, but you know Electrodrome really drafty place,
Super
really
drafty
easy to
start.
draft right here in the first turn. Get a double box and then just spam into first. You know. So the interesting thing, Green Path is 100%
Yeah,
slower,
significantly
but
slower.
a significant, yeah, no, it is like you're gonna lose spots for doing it, but it's also a really smart play to do. You know, Pedro, like
Ooh,
he
bomb.
got 2 free boxes with no competition
Yeah, but
whatsoever.
to be fair, they were eighth place boxes, and he got a single shroom and a single red.
That's true. Um, taking it, okay, the triple greens being taken out, that's a good trade if you're Brazil. You just
Brazil
want to
took three
get
four.
away. Yeah, really, really good right now.
Blue shell
The
in for
blue
Korea
does
too.
come. This is a blessing for Brazil right now. Like you cannot be wishing for anything
Ooh, the
more.
bomb.
The bomb, but it doesn't explode onto second and gets Pedro instead. Um, I mean, not the worst that could have happened because now you have
Ooh,
first
he just
control
goes in
and
for
that
the horn.
horn, huge, perfect horn. You want to be aggressive if you don't have a horn. If you have a horn in like a middle spot, you want to play aggressive. Um, Triple reds coming on to Pedro right now, though. Um, I mean, Brazil has first lockdown right now. You see that huge breakaway
Yeah, just
with
gone.
Korea on these mid spots. What can you really do? You know, you just have to wonder if there's a shot going to play at all
Guy
with
in
that
last
person in
going
last.
opting to go around cut. So I would assume that Korea has shock. Do have a star in fourth right now, and I believe we should
Hmm.
see a shock coming in and play right here.
Any second. I mean, I'm wondering if we go for the TS
I know
maybe,
he
or
doesn't have
no.
shock.
I think that was a bot maybe.
Ooh, that's
And we do
unfortunate.
see the cursed pull,
Yeah,
the plant in seventh. Not really much you can do. You know, 10-second timer. You have to spam this, get out the way, and just hope you get a shroom for your next box. And I'm reckoning this is going to be a really good race for Brazil. Like a really, really good. Yep, top 3-5,
wow.
bottom 3 for Korea.
We're curious to see if that
God,
was a DC from Urim.
I would have to
It's kind of super
imagine so.
unfortunate.
I really think so because he was, so far back and he just didn't pull shock, he didn't pull blue. Um, I just think that was that was a bot. And Korea's not looking too pretty right now. Already down, probably a plus 20 race for Brazil. Already down probably around like 45 to 50. And, people DCing left and right, I guess. And they're not able to get the momentum back. They're picking cheese, Twisted Mansion. They're scrambling for any track picks that can get. The Baby Park comes out already. One thing that's interesting about Baby Park, Baby Park is a really good track pick for last race. Whenever a team needs like a top 4, because good luck getting top spots on Baby Park. That is impossible to do. So what teams do, they get their plus 30 lead, and then they get the baby park track pick last race, and it's just impossible to win. So very interesting that they picked that there instead of you know Cheeseland or DS, stuff like that, where it's more common to catch up on. Very okay. So we see Brazil, Pedro decides to just bag. Everyone's gonna bag. What teams usually should do is send one or two people up to the front. Make sure first is able to get a breakaway if you're, sending two people up there, and then have the second player just, throw reds at them, throw greens, just do anything that they can to have a breakaway. And it's looking like Korea's opting to, just run this with Brazil just hoping for shock.
Don't like the decision to kind of run cheeseline. It's just one of those tracks where you know like things are gonna
Oh
happen.
yeah, no, 100%. And like in a lounge and stuff like that,
Yeah.
you do not want to run. That is the death wish. But in wars like this, you have to, you have to step up to the plate and be like, all right, I'll sacrifice me not be able to dodge just to be able to have my other team, my teammates have a presence to dodge.
So many blues for Korea. They're probably taking at least 4 or 5 blues. At least.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you're 100% taking blues if you're running in this track because people are trying to go for shock, and if you're trying to go for shock, that means oh, okay, that was a really good green snipe. Predicting the wide turn. The shock does come. I would believe that's the Brazil shock.
I would assume
Chaining
so.
chaining Pedro into boxes and getting NVGS dodge. Um,
Still
so
not a terrible spot considering.
Not an awful spot. I mean, the pack is still pretty close. He could still win, but these triple reds for your teammate.
Ooh.
Oh, that's just a miscommunication right there. Don't know what to do. Just trying to go wide. You guys both go wide, and not the pull. Never mind. Okay, it was a perfect pull
Yeah.
actually. Never. I was about to say that was not a really good pull because it takes so long to get an item, but if you just dodge like that and have your team just get top two, maybe top three. Oh no, at the very least top two, four. 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9 for Brazil. That's huge. It looks like Brazil's really taking this home. Just taking it and running with it, capitalizing on these shocks and just being able to, you know, have that first presence.
It looks like it's really hard for Korea's usually always somewhat a top spot, but it just looks really hard when there's a blue every race and then Brazil just dodges in the top spots. Not to
Dodges with
discredit
two shots.
Brazil, they're playing this exactly as they should, but it just looks this looks really tough to play right now for
Oh
Korea.
yeah, but Brazil's playing this perfectly. They're taking advantage of every item they get, and I have to commend them for that because some teams they get the luck they need, and then they don't know how to perform it well because they're not just used to the fast paced match of Mario Kart, and Brazil does not seem like they have that problem right now. Like they are taking this, they're okay. We're gonna do this, 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 this. We're gonna do that, 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 and it's gonna work. And it's been working 100%. Up 80 after 4 races, I believe.
I think that was race
That
five.
is
So we're going
race
into race
5. Okay,
six.
that's still really, really good. Yeah. Okay, after 5, that's a hefty margin to come back on. You have, of course, it's not over. This is only the halfway point, but it's all about mental game. This game is really, really relying on how well you can keep a good attitude. And I'm just wondering if Korea's, keeping that upbeat, positive attitude that they need in order to come back.
Yeah, I mean you're only going on race 6 minus 80. Just string a couple of good races together and you can honestly flip this war right back into your favor.
I'm not a fan of this truck, honestly. Excite Bike, it's a very weird track in my opinion. Either shock happens and you get shocked after boxes, or shock doesn't
Everybody just pull
happen
shrooms. Yeah.
and everyone just pulls rooms around you while you pull a plant, and you're like, okay, cool, can't take cut. But I mean, if if Korea thinks that they can do something on this track, then by all means do it. One thing I'm not seeing is Korea not bagging at all. You see Pedro back here, he's opting for the shock, and that's exactly what he needs to do. Um, he's right now is like perfect distance to pull the
Yeah.
shock right now. He just needs to stay in this distance right now, and he'll be able to get it if he's lucky enough. Um, Wondering if he's gonna get it though, because you see NVGS back there, and you see a lot of Roy's up there, which is at least some Brazil presence at the very least.
Brazil is mostly mid pack right now. Just looking at all the Roys.
Hmm.
And I believe
Very unfortunate pull. Bill,
Ignac's
looks like there's gonna be
playing in
no
last.
shock. I mean, still a lot of Korea back here, and he's able to just use his star right here to get a double box and just hopefully catch up on the straightaway, this last straightaway here. Not a terrible pull. Star last set. That's exactly what you need in order to avoid, any reds, any boomerangs, any fire, literally anything that can come your way. Chain the star, and he's sitting pretty right now.
Wow, he actually is pulling off like fifth. Oh, the back red
Oh,
fourth.
the back red. What a what a back.
Top two for
Top
Korea.
two. Honestly, not a bad race for Brazil. Like, obviously, it couldn't got a lot worse and a lot better, but Pedro was going for shock. He couldn't pull it, and they just adapted really quickly. All right, like, okay, let's try to capitalize on our race now. And top two isn't bad at all.
Yeah, that's a winning race for Korea. The first win of the game, +8.
I wonder if this is the start of the comeback, the also
Anything can
elusive
happen.
comeback. Anything can happen with South Korea. One of my underrated picks for this year, honestly. Surprised that South Korea is able to even get a team. That's like, I'm proud
Yeah,
of them
that's
for
actually
even.
huge.
Yeah, like this is like the biggest like World Cup standings that we've had
Yeah, I
ever,
was
and
looking at some
like
of the teams, and I was just like, wow, we have teams from everywhere.
Ecuador, like Costa Rica, like wow, we have such a diverse team or community up in here.
I even watched some like MKT last night, and I think it was what Guatemala versus like Honduras.
Yeah,
It's pretty
like
impressive.
that is like you would never see that in modern day esports. You would see nothing like that, and that's only Mario Kart for you.
Yeah, Mario
We're
Kart is in
starting
pretty solid
trends.
hands right now.
So we do see Pedro, hoping to get, a green and just chucking that forward, even a shroom. But he does get pushed up, and he's gonna opt to hold on to the shroom, which is smart because you already have your teammate up there, doing crowd control and just pulling reds and greens. And you want number one thing about this game, you need to space. People get tilted about how they get redded from behind and like or in front of you or like you just get hit by nothing, but that's contributing to how well you can space in front of your teammates and the enemy team. And this is what Pedro's exactly doing, playing the smart. 2-4 for Brazil right now. Korea's able to keep first right now.
Ooh, missing glider.
Missing glider, but not the worst thing that can happen. And he does get the trail off. 2-3 for Brazil. Not 2-3-4-5 for Brazil. Not sure where Korea's at, or like Korea's all alone in first. This track is very run heavy, and it's really easy to just pull reds, just
Yeah, I
chain
think Leo
reds.
just redded him out.
Yep, 1-3-4-5 for Brazil right now. With
And Brazil is yeah,
just
Brazil is
not much you can
emptying shots
do.
right now.
The blue does come, but I mean, what good does that do when their team is all behind you?
Especially
Hoping
on
to
a
get
track
a
like
green
ooh.
snipe, huge green snipe. I'm very, very proud of him. Um, a lot of just Brazil, just back to back up here.
Ooh, the
Uh,
back.
you gotta let your teammate pass
He
in
has
this
to pass,
position.
yeah. Double reds.
Oh, but he's
Oh,
going crowd surfing. It seems like very interesting. But I mean, hey, it's not the end of the world. Like you have two reds now. The other team is
yeah.
right there. You're
Yeah, he
just gonna
just.
schlag.
Ooh.
Just start backing. 'Cause I see triple reds, I believe, or no, triple shrooms. Okay, I was about to say like triple reds. That's like the worst thing that they could have pulled.
Korea does get first. 2-3-4 for Brazil.
NVGS does get 11th. We see, and yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5. Honestly, you take those if you're Brazil. Any race that's not like a huge blowout losing race for Brazil is a good race because that's just extending their lead. It's like, hey, you guys are still getting these winning races, but you guys still have to come back.
Yeah.
We dropped a +60 on you races ago. Like you guys got to do that now, and time's running out. And 5 races left. Like you're gonna have to do something, Korea. I do opt for the TikTok play, which is honestly a good play because TikTok is easy to keep first on, and it's easy to keep these top positions on. But it's also really easy to pull the shock on, so that's something they do have to look out for. Wario's gold
Wario's
mine,
gold
very
mine.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, I see. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think Wario's gold mine is an okay track to pick. It's very
I feel like
easy
there's
to
better
run.
tracks than Wario's gold mine.
There are a lot of better tracks. Um,
Just
like
from my personal experience, Wario's gold mine is
I
kind of
can't. I
overrated.
can't even I don't even know what to say about this track. Like this track is just so underpicked.
Should have just stayed on
And
Wii.
for yeah, no, literally, it should have just stayed in Wii. Like, I'm sorry, like I love like the aesthetic to this track. Like, it looks amazing, but this track is also very easy to play. You just hold A, um, and that's something Korea's hoping to do. You know, just hold A, keep first. But it looks like Brazil's taking the early top three
Yeah,
with
Brazil
these
with the perfect spot for this track.
drafting.
2 through 5, you just draft
Oh,
into
he
like,
pulls the shroom.
ooh,
Interesting shroom spot
yeah.
right there. He was looking to, just break away into first, but bumps are still a huge thing in this game, and they can make you lose so much time if you get bumped a certain way. Does get redded. I think if I'm Pedro, I'm gonna sit in the back. Coin collect. Start getting some powerful items, shrooms, stars, that sort of thing. Maybe even get shock if his team demands it.
Look like he's
Um,
playing the catch-up game, just kind of streaming into the mid-pack here. I feel like that green's gonna do something wonky.
that greens always do something wonky, so that's not even that's not even good prediction. Do you see a DK up in second? I believe that is Brazil. I think Korea holding the 1-3. Oh, but a lot of just Mario Kart just happened
Yeah,
right there. Just people getting hit and don't even know what's happening. And it looks like no one's opting to bag at all. Just people are just opting to just be okay. Just
super
good
close
luck if you
pack.
if you're lucky, you're lucky. May the luckiest person win.
Pedro literally just went from ninth to like fifth with 2 wins.
Just
Ooh,
like
the play
all
coming
the
in.
plan. Okay, I think I would go for shock in this
Yeah, at this
scenario.
point, I feel like you have to stop and go for shock.
Like your race is already ruined. You have 2 coins. You're 11th
Bottom three for
place.
Brazil right
Bottom
now.
three. Like you need to go for it. Um, I'm
Might
wondering if
not
his
use
teammate
anything
in
in
last
this.
is trying to
I
go
haven't seen
for it at
Mick use
all.
anything. Wait, assuming he
I'm
has it,
wondering if
I
he's
would
gonna
assume
look
just a
back.
TS.
If he's gonna use it now. No, does not look like they have it. Bottom four for Brazil right now. I'm not getting nothing but
Ooh, yeah,
shrooms.
next stop in at boxes now.
Com-
He's desperately
completely
trying to get shock.
useless.
This might be a huge race for Korea, and this is exactly
Very.
what they need
They
right
need to
here.
capitalize this 100%. They need to do something well on this. And it looks like NVGS is, in the mid pack there with the Wario looking like in fourth. One Korean member back here, two Korean members back here.
That's a bottom
It's
three, bottom
looking
four for Brazil. 1-4
Korea.
for Brazil is salvageable, but really good race for
Wow.
Korea.
Good race for Korea, but I think it's too little, too late. You need to do these races back then when they were getting top four, top three, stuff like that. But Korea needs top six now. They need to bring this back. They need that momentum boost right now. And I feel like a top six is perfectly warranted in that situation.
Plus 14 race after 2 GPs, 297, 359. Or no, wait, yeah. I mean, minus 62 last GP,
We've seen
maybe.
worse.
We have, we
Seen
have, we have,
worse.
we have.
Like definitely come backable. They need to start getting first. They need like Brazil just keeps getting first, and whenever
Yeah,
Brazil
this
doesn't
is
get
way too
first,
low.
obviously Korea doesn't get or Korea gets first. But then it's just Brazil all behind them, do the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, type stuff.
The last
And
race
they
could
just
turn the tides. We'll
I
see.
mean, it could. I think they need to just rethink their strategy game and just be like, okay, why are we losing top presence last second? Like, we have it down for the entire race, and then we just die out. And that's something they need to answer if they want to win this match. Brazil's looking like a formidable foe right now. The Ice pick does come out, and honestly, not a bad pick for them right now. Like, it's very easy to run Ice. Take these these shroomless double cuts, and you're just gone. You just this track rewards people for playing well, and top two for career right now, exactly what they
What they
need.
need, yeah.
top three for Korea, and they need to make sure Pedro does not make any big plays as I say
Grizzly.
that.
Yeah.
But hey, he does get pushed off right there. And I mean, you take those. That's a good trade if you're Korea. A lot of Brazil back here. Like
Pedro has to stop for Shug
Korea.
here. He's definitely gonna stop for Shug.
Oh yeah, Pedro
Big
definitely.
glider
And
at the end. No reason to
hmm
stop here.
oh, he's
Oh,
looking just going to run. Okay. I mean, if no one's backing for shock, that means no one's gonna get shock. So that's fine too. If you're Brazil. Oh, the
Pedro coming in
blue
with the
shell
blue.
pick. Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of Korea back here with the blue shell coming onto Korea too. Like, there's not much you can really do right now if you're Korea. Like, there's a lot of Korea back here now, and they don't have shock. They don't have any, mid map presence. It seems like just Korea's going to be able to just hold down the fort, these middle positions. Again, no shock. No, it's just
Yeah.
spam star. Hopefully, Korea. I don't know. Like, Korea needs to do something here because
What
there's
do you do?
four
No
Korean
shock and
no power items, no nothing.
I think he
Oh,
just.
unfortunate. I think that.
I don't think that's a terrible race, honestly.
I think.
Yeah. Bottom three for Brazil.
Okay, it's a start. It is definitely a start. They need to do like next race. I think next race is the make or break it. If they get like a close race, I think it's over for them. But if they're able to, at least get top three, then it is 100%, 100% winnable. Like 100%.
They cut the lead down to 50 with 3 races left.
Yeah, they need that top three in order to get like maybe a plus 15, hopefully a plus 20 in order to, cut that lead even more. Um, they are not doing the big blue pick for me. I'm gonna have to go for Brazil on this one. Like, what can you do? They're just power moving the big blue. Like, I've been on the spiel thousands of times. Big Blue is the best track in the game. It fits every role you need. Every role. It's a bagging track. It's a running track. It's a mid track. You can do whatever you want on that track, and you can get rewarded for it. So, but I'm not gonna be on
No.
that rant. We're gonna go on to
The only place you
Mount
don't want to be
Mario
in
instead.
Big Blue is first.
I mean, it works sometimes because if there's no blue, there's nothing getting you out of first.
True, actually.
So we see the Mario Mario pick. Honestly, the hardest track on I think like ever, like one of the hardest tracks like in Mario Kart franchise because of this one tree section. And
Man, I hate the
I'm
tree
wondering to
section.
see if Korea can get past the tree section in order to, win this match and be able to take home a dub for their country.
Yeah, definitely a big dub to take versus Brazil.
We do see Royal back here and Pedro chilling. Um, Very hard to catch up on this track. I think NVGS is first, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I wonder.
it's
Oh,
definitely
they're
a. Oof.
stealing the fireballs. I mean, that's confirmation that Korea is in last. They need shock. Like if they don't get shock, I think that's GG's because last is not a good position to get when you're trying to make a 50-point comeback. That is not what your team needs, and
Korea. A
a
lot of
lot of
shots
Korea
last
back
week.
here
Yeah.
too. And if you're Pedro, you're looking to counter back hard because a shock completely turns.
Ooh.
Oh, the
Korea getting
bomb!
bombed in the bottom
A
three.
lot of Korea back here, almost bottom four for Korea. And if they don't have shock, this is it. Like this is the final stretch for them right now.
But if they do have shock, then they're in a really good spot right here.
If they do get shock,
It's
they
not looking like it though.
shock after last collider and just hope to come back crew. But it does not look like there's any dodges in play. Just a bunch of shrooms. And
Yeah, shock would have
no,
had to
no,
happen there. No shock.
no shock.
That might be the dagger for Korea.
Very unfortunate for Korea right there. Pulling no shock, having no top presence up there, and Brazil looking to take this home with the 1-3.
Ooh, salvageable.
Yeah, that's a close
It's
race,
not
but I mean,
bad.
but like I said earlier or at the beginning of the race, like I think that's it. You know, you need the momentum to really carry you into these last two races. It's not over by any means, but you you're down 50, 60. You know,
Yeah, you're at the
somewhere
point where
around
you can't
there.
lose races anymore.
You
Yeah.
need a top five at the very least for one race, and that's asking a lot after having no top presence at all in these races. Hmm. Seeing the Moo Moo pick for Brazil. Okay, the DK Jungle from Korea with the NBC. They're really relying on these running tracks for these like top positions, but it's not been working out. They've just been getting 1-3, top two, not like top four, top three, stuff like that they need. And we do look like we're going to DK Jungle. Honestly, if you're Brazil, you hard back for the shock. Hard back. They can't do
Really?
anything if you have shock, because that just
Makes
secures your
sense.
dub
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
actually, yeah. You're not wrong.
You get the shock and then you just use it randomly so that they're in like an awkward position where they can't get shock, and then they're also trying to catch back up. And hopefully Pedro's taking my word of advice and just bagging for it, or at least one of their members, because there's no point in trying to play out the race. Like you already know you're sitting comfortably, and the only thing that can overturn a comeback is a shock. And if you're looking to completely negate that, you're going for the shock. So interesting to see what Pedro decides to do. Looks like he's just gonna sit in the back with
Yeah,
this
I think
Korean
it's
member. Make sure. I mean, that works too. As long as they don't get shocked, that's completely fine too. And it looks like Korea is in first with that me. I love that me in first, man.
yeah.
I love seeing funny me's. Just like
Shout
oh
out
yeah,
to
there's
me
an old guy,
users.
the old guy just running into first. Like okay, that works.
Pretty solid lead too, actually.
Very solid lead with a star in fifth. Looks like he's gonna take the star cut right here. Um, maybe a top three for
I
Korea,
think it's a
but
1-3. I think there was
yeah, but
second.
it's more likely a 1-3 right now. Um, do you see Triple Shroom's coming out? He's gonna look to shroom up and
That's a
use
top
something
3.
with his green. No,
Definitely
that is the
definitely
top
top
three
3.
for
Yeah.
Korea. This is exactly what I'm saying. Like you need the shock here, like to negate this top three from Korea. Like Brazil needs to work at their way up in top spots, but that's exactly what Pedro's doing. Triple shrooms into third, taking out that Korean member out of fourth, and triple bananas. Honestly not too bad because now you can't get out of third. Like, what are you gonna do if triple reds come? You have three bananas to protect yourself from.
I wonder if he gets aggressive here and tries to go for a snipe.
He definitely goes aggressive here. I would imagine for their teammate behind you, and I think that's it.
Ooh.
Oh, the one-time triple bananas work in this
Actually, yeah.
game.
Top 2 for
Very
Korea.
lucky for Pedro. I think that's it. Yep. The 3-4-5-6, that's not enough for Korea at all. And that is a W for the Brazilian team. The underdogs in my eyes, because I thought Korea was gonna take this, um, based on their previous results. But no, Brazil coming swinging huge with this 60-point victory, even more. This last race still hasn't even been played yet. I mean, they played this well, I have to say. Like, they just outclassed Korea in every way. They made sure that they're able to get shocked to prevent them from running because they knew that they were going to be relying on running tracks, and they just outplayed Korea, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like Brazil came in with just a not a mindset, but more of so a game plan of what they needed to
Yeah, a
do.
hundred
Because
percent a game
in
plan.
every race, every track, it just looked they did exactly what they needed to do. Whether it was get shock, whether it was to just be aggressive.
They knew what to do. I mean, That's exactly what teams need to do. They need to have a game plan before going into it. Be like, okay, we know that this team likes to do this. What are we going to do about that? And that's exactly what it seems like they did. And we're going to see a victory race from Brazil. They get to lean back. They're still going to play this out, of course. But that's a huge sigh of relief that, oh, okay, we won this, and now we just get to chill, just play Mario Kart for now. Top three for Korea right now. I'm wondering if Brazil has any answers for this. Pedro
Talking
getting
about
his only item booed already.
it's always the worst when you just get booed. Like it's first set, bro. Like calm down.
Like please, like I didn't even get to use my item. Not even
Ooh, this
oh,
bomb.
this bomb. Oh,
Ooh,
doesn't get anyone
yeah.
surprisingly. Okay, I mean,
Oh.
I mean, that's what
Pull
you
off, I
get for trying
guess.
to go for clips. You get clipped. Not much you can do with this horn. His teammates all around him. Just hoping to just get away from his teammates and just use his horn. Yep, going left path, very smart. Just oh,
Just narrowly avoiding the fire.
Pedro's a
Can we
god
do it
of
again?
winning these items. Swerve on him, man. Swerve on him.
Oh,
Oh, he wasn't
so that time he
swerving.
stopped looking back.
I mean, hey, top four for Korea. I wonder where this was at earlier in the war.
Did Korea have had the top spots? I don't think that was a problem for him. It was
Oh
just
yeah,
maintaining
just
top spots.
let's see if Pedro's gonna be able. Oh, abusing the lag
Ooh,
system in
that's
this
unfortunate.
game, running their
Yeah.
teammate out of third. Oh my god.
Do we see a shock here?
I don't see a shock happening. I don't think they're far enough behind. A blue in fourth, okay, okay, Brazil. But that's not the worst place to get blued, honestly. There's boost pads everywhere. Like you can't complain about getting blued there. Just chaos happening in this last turn here. There's the shock. I was about to say, like, maybe there's a shock now in play, considering he's so far behind.
It's
And
just too little, too late.
Brazil
Yeah,
just,
and Brazil just passes
just
everybody.
just coming in and be like, okay, we'll take first. Thank you very much. NVGS does get first,
Wow, still a good
but
race for
just
Korea.
first. Bottom four for Brazil, but war's already over. That was just a hey, kid, I have an idea. Let's make sure I can break 100. NVGS says, and he goes for the MVP, takes it from Pedro. And I mean, what can I really say? I mean, Brazil came in swinging and they won. They deserve to win this. They had a game plan and they just completely outplayed Korea here. So that is Brazil's first win, I believe. Going 1-2 with Korea's also 1-2.